was cedar once before the fire took the shape, before Kaya drew the lines and gave me my name. I was hammered and hollowed and given a soul. I lived every mile of it, and none of it was small. Zora slept where my deck used to hold its breath. Now me charted water that could have been my death. Usopp swore his tales before the tales got told. Sanji's kitchen smoke kept the whole crew from the cold. Luffy stood on my head and laughed at every storm. Chopper counted stitches every time I got torn. I took the waves so the galley could stay dry. I took the weight so nobody had to ask why. I learned the sound of 8 feet running my rail. I learned a captain's dream outweighs any sail. I was cedar and rope and 100 patched holes. I was the deck that carried the weight of 6 souls. I was the plank that held steady when the cannons hit. I was the mast that stayed standing. I never once quit. I sailed you past the border where the map ran out. I sailed you through the cannon fire, through the doubt. I took a hit before it reached your chest. I was the going Mary, I was built for that test. You called my name when the current turned unkind. I gave you every promise a hull could hold in mind. I sailed you home and I sailed into the dark, and either way you kept me. You carried my mark. Harlong's water swallowed half of what I knew. I held Nami's grief the whole way through. Skypiea lifted me on a current made of gold. I felt the sea turn to sky and I didn't lose my hold. Alabasta sand got into every seam I had. I carried a princess and a kingdom, good and bad. Little garden burned a jungle at my side. I wore those scorch marks on my mask with a quiet pride. Every island left a mark somewhere on my frame. Every mark was a story that carried your name. I was cedar and rope and 100 patched holes. I was the deck that carried the weight of 6 souls. I was the plank that held steady when the cannons hit. I was the mast that stayed standing. I never once quit. Enies Lobby bent me, the buster call cracked my spine. Still I dragged you through the sea gate one more time. I felt the barnacles grow where the sea cracking bit. I felt the wood go soft, but I still wouldn't quit. Frankie checked my ribs and shook his head. Quiet, said the rotted one before the crew could deny it. I heard you arguing over how to let me go. Part of me already knew, though I never let it show. A ship keeps sailing till the moment that she can't. I gave you every mile before I let you grant. The one request I couldn't ask you with a voice, so I made the ending easy. I made it my choice. You built a fire on the water where I used to stand. Mary burning bright against the sand. I heard you crying, wished I told you I was fine. A ship can smile even in her final line. I gave you every mile I had left to give. That was the only way a going Mary knew to live. So I let the flame take the mast, let it take the wheel. I was never made of wood, I was made to feel. Thank you for letting me sail with you. Thank you for calling my deck a home. I never asked you to remember every wave, just to know I never once left you alone. I sailed you past the border where the map ran out. I sailed you through the cannon fire, through the doubt. Somebody else takes the hit for your chest now, but I was the one who taught that whole how. You still call my name when the current turns unkind, and I'm the promise that current can unwind. I sailed you home and I sailed into the dark, and I'm still with you. I left you my mark. I'm cedar and dash now, I'm smoke on the tide. I was the ship who got a captain her own goodbye. Somewhere past the current where the new ship waits. I hope you told her to sail well, told her not to be late. I carried you further than any whole ship go, and then I let the sunset carry me. every mile you made it, and I was never the same. I was never just a vessel, never just a name. I was every mile you made it, and I was never